August 1st, Fox News reported that you settled a lawsuit with the World Economic Forum after they failed to remove your name from its 2021 list of young global leaders, even though you declined the nomination. Why did your name continue to appear on World Economic Forum Young Global Leaders list, and what are your ties to the organization, if any?
Oh, so the ties to the organization are none. My only link was actually being the chief critic of their agenda.
What's going on, everyone? It's Talks with Kenny here today, and I got a doozy one for you. So this is a video from Patrick David. He lives in Fort Lauderdale. Love his podcast. A big follower of him. And recently, one of you guys in the comment section brought to my attention that he did a town hall with Vivek, and I went to check it out, and I found a clip that helps me kind of give Vivek an opportunity to confront one of his biggest critics on his genuineness, if he really is conservative, because, you know, some people people have questions about his Hindu faith. Also, people have questions of his ties with the World Economic Forum. And I think this video gives a great opportunity for Vivek to kind of highlight and give clarity and express the kind of behind the scenes of what was going on and how he came to have his name on the World Economic Forum. Now, throughout the video, he makes some examples of how they did the same thing to Elon Musk, and we seem to like Elon Musk, right? And this is the problem I have with what's going on with, I think what's going on in the conservative movement is we're starting to become this purity test typing movement, where if someone doesn't fit the box of what we think a conservative should be, then he's not a conservative. And I even get some of that in my comment section too. People saying that, oh, Kenny, you're not really a conservative. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I live a conservative life. I believe in conservative principles. I agree 80% of the time with conservatives. I'm just saying 80% because usually, you know, if you have facts and evidence backing up what you're saying, I will agree with you, regardless of how I personally feel about the evidence. But hey, I digress. In this part I'm about to show you, Vivek is going to go into detail about the World Economic Forum, how they pretty much what's their philosophy and why he doesn't agree with their philosophy and their
agenda. So everybody in this room might not even know what we're talking about. There's an organization called the World Economic Forum. They stand for a vision of the world called the Great Reset. What is the Great Reset? It's a different vision of how we're all supposed to live. It says that we have to dissolve the boundaries between the public sector and the private sector, between governments and companies, between nations, to be able to now work towards what they call the global common good. I'm against this. I am a citizen, not of some global citizen. I am a citizen of this nation, the United States of America. I'm proud of that. That is true. That means something to me. And on this side of the pond in 1776, we said that we, the people, determine how we sort out our differences, where every person's voice and vote counts equally. In the old world Europe, it was the other way. It had to be a small group of elites in the back of palace halls in old England that decided what was right for the rest of society at large. In this country, we said no to that vision. We, the people, decide our own destiny as citizens of a nation. So that old world view, though, it started to rear its head again in recent years in the form of this World Economic Forum. They hold a meeting every year in Davos. Klaus Schwab is the person who leads it. It's basically a view that says the citizens cannot be trusted on questions like climate change or racial injustice. It has to be settled by a class of global elites, including.
And that's kind of why I like Vivek. Vivek talks a very populist message, and I think that's why I'm a populist, is that I believe that no small group of interest group. This is why I'm so against ESG, right? Small interest groups telling me what to do with my life when they are so far removed from it, right? They're so far removed from the common condition of the everyday average American, yet they want to make decisions on our behalf without fully understanding the full breadth and reality of our experience, right? This is what I like about liberals. They'll talk about how you have to respect black people's lived experience, but when a black man like me comes up with my lived experience and it goes against their narrative, they don't want to listen to me all of a sudden. Oh, black voices matter until a black conservative start talking, right? And you see this duality, and this is the same game that these special interest groups play. They're saying, hey, we're doing this for the good of the people, but when the good of the people say, hey, we disagree with that, you guys don't know what you're talking about. We'll handle it on your behalf, right? They're trying to bring back this level of elitism again. right? And this is why I hate stakeholder capitalism, is that you're letting a small group of individuals decide the direction of society, where in a democracy, right, in a democratic republic, you're supposed to, in a republic, you're supposed to represent your constituents. You're supposed to be a representative of the people. You're not a leader. You're not a savior. And this is why I said liberals have this savior complex in a way. But hey, I digress. So in this next part, Vivek goes into more of the lawsuit and why he decided to sue them, because in his reasoning, and I agree with his reasoning, because Glenn Beck was also part of the World Economic Forum. He was also listed in there. Vivek makes the claim, and I agree with this claim, that the World Economic Forum is playing politics, right? They're saying, hey, we're gonna defang you, we're gonna hurt your credibility with your own base by naming you as part of our organization, as part of our forum, right? When Vivek was like, yo, I declined the offer, I didn't want it, remove my name. And time again, they kept doing this because, I don't know, maybe they wanted to bolster their credibility. Maybe they wanted to make it make this illusion that everybody who is somebody, political thinkers, intellectuals, businessmen, they try to make this, I guess, this illusion that everybody's part of the program and that no one's against them. I don't know, that maybe that could have been the case, but hey, I'll let Vivek say it out of his own mouth, and then I'll wrap it up with my final thoughts at the end of the next clip. Let's take a look.
They decided to name a lot of young billionaires. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, others have been named on their list. So a funny thing happens. I wrote my first book, Woke Inc. It was a criticism of this agenda. Every one of my books has, especially Capitalist Punishment, has gone into detail exposing some of the corruption in this worldview. I went on to start a company, Strive, to push against the ESG agenda. That's the manifestation of the Great Reset in our capital markets. But then a curious thing happens. A guy who's affiliated with the World Economic Forum reaches out and says, hey, we're going to give you an award. You're going to be named on our list of young global leaders with all this long list of billionaires. And Ibram Kendi was going to be on that list. And this is a guy I've been very critical of. So I said, no, I don't think this is going to be a good fit for me. I disagree with you all. If you want to have a debate, I'll debate anybody. But I'm not a good fit for your list. I declined the award. A few months later, my name shows up on the list anyway. It's interesting. I get a bunch of text messages from people. Congratulations. So I'm a little confused. So I said, wait a minute. I told you guys not to add me to this list. They said, oh, sorry, we'll take it off. Years later, it keeps popping up, a couple of years later. And so the people start asking, wait, why is your name on this list? So you know what I did? I don't believe in standing by. And there are other good allies like Glenn Beck, Elon Musk, others who have also been opponents of their agenda who have been named. But I believe in taking action. I believe in accountability. So I sued him. I sued him in court. And I'll tell you a little bit later on a lawsuit that I filed just earlier this week against the Department of Justice. I don't believe in just being a passive bystander. I believe in accountability. So I sued him and we got everything that we demanded, including, most importantly, a commitment that this organization would never again defang or try to undermine its opponents by ensnaring them on their own lists. And so,
yeah, I agree with that statement. Look, actions speak louder than words, right? If you make a claim that, hey, I'm not associated with this organization, okay, why you never committed any action to have that resolved? He did do that. So, and the reason I brought up this video, because I get a lot of people when I do my Vivek videos and I tell them how much I like Vivek. Maybe these are Ron DeSantis people, maybe these are Trump supporting people, but they always tell me, oh, I don't trust Swamwami. I forgot, like, it's like Swamp Ramaswamy. Like, they try to make a distinction, like, oh, he's part of the swamp, he's part of the deep state. Look, he's part of the World Economic Forum. And this is kind of like superficial evidence that they give, right? But then when I hear him explain it, say, hey, they reach out to me. How many times you heard journalists reach out to conservative talking heads and for a statement, and the conservative don't give any statement yet, and they still put out the piece anyway? It seemed like that was what was going on, right? And I think, and even if this was the case, even if it was the case that Vivek was part of the World Economic Forum, to me, I believe that people can change, right? Just like Ron DeSantis changed, right? Ron DeSantis, I'm Floridian. Ron DeSantis was your average career politician, and then he made a change. He's like, hey, look, I got endorsed by Trump. I forgot when he got into office. Sorry, guys, my memory is foggy. 2017, I believe, if I remember correctly, right? He got in, changed his style, became more populist. People end up loving him. Trump used to be a Democrat, switched between the two parties. Eventually, he became the Republican president in 2016. Right. So even if even if the case was he used to be part of the World Economic Forum, I believe people can change into something greater. I believe everyone can be redeemable. So I don't understand why people use the fact that someone used to be a certain way in the past, and then now you're condemning them currently for things they used to do in the past. Right. And this is why I'm saying the conservative movement is starting to act like leftists in a way. Like we need a purity test. You need to always been conservative. There could have been no point in your life where you could have been something else, right? Me, I used to be a moderate because I came from a divided household politically, right? My dad was a Republican, my mom was a Democrat, so I became like a moderate or a centrist because I used to have these two conflicting views in my household, right? So like, end of the day, it doesn't matter where you come from; it matters where you're going because you can't control how you were brought up, what environments you were exposed to, but you can't control where you're going. And I think that people should judge Vivek where he is at right now. And even the case, he said he sued them. He said, "Hey, I wasn't part of their organization. I wrote my book Woke Inc. and they still added me in there." So obviously, what he believed in doesn't necessarily just because you're associated with someone doesn't necessarily mean you agree with them. Right? That's like me saying I come from a family of Democrats, and you're going to sit here and tell me, "Oh, Kenny, you're a Democratic operative because your whole families are Democrats." It's the same argument that these people are trying to do, guilty by association. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. You think Vivek gave a satisfactory answer after being confronted with the World Economic Forum question? Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.